Welcome to WagerTalk Today. I'm Lawrence Presman. What a show we've got lined up. We're going to give you guys a ton of betting information. Carmine Bianco is going to take apart 3 NHL games. There's only 4 on tap. I'll cover the 4th later. Andy Lang will be joining us. He's got another Super Bowl prop bet, one that has been presidentially approved. He's got an NBA bet as well and a darts parlay. We call those a darlay. Also, Dave Mason from Bet Online, and we're going to end the show with Gianni the Greek. If you guys have never watched the show, stay with us all the way. We got some of the best sports gamblers on the planet. They come onto the show every single day. We give out actionable betting information. The stuff goes tonight. You stay with us. You'll make some money. Let's get it going. Carmine Bianco, right off the bat, some hockey. How are you, my friend? I hear you had a nice night last night, and shout out to you, 2 5% soccer winners in a row.
Champions League and Europa League, the final match days were on Wednesday and Thursday, and we cashed a couple big tickets on those ones. It's been a good start of 2025 in soccer, and even going back to December, up 33 units. So look to continue that, and I'll have a little bit of I have a promo for you guys as well too for the 30-day all access. But NHL last night, 3-0 NHL,
Nice.
looking to heat it up because you and Andrew are having fantastic seasons. So I need to get on my bike and start cycling, man, to catch you guys. But maybe that 3-0 will push me in the right direction. I got a couple plays tonight as well too. But yeah, Prez, let's get going, man. There's 3. It's a short slate, but 3 very good games, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to go down the board top to bottom a little later. So I'll give you my thoughts on these games as well later on in the show. But right now we got Vancouver plus 140 against Dallas. Dallas coming home from a road trip. Big victory against Vegas in overtime in their last game. Winners of 3 in a row. And Carm, this Vancouver team, I'm mad at myself because after they got slaughtered by Edmonton 6-2, I said, I got to put them aside. This is a bet on team moving forward. And they did win their next 3 games in a row, including a really good performance against Nashville 3-1. Now they are on their 3rd road game, and they're playing a much better team than their last 2 opponents. How are you attacking this hockey game?
Yeah, that was a mini road trip for Dallas, only a couple games away. And sometimes I'll look at fading the team returning from a road trip, but that's normally something where it's 4 games or longer, and an East Coast team that was on the West Coast returning back, or vice versa, West Coast team returning back from an East Coast trip. Uh, with Vancouver, their last 3 games, they're starting to play some defense. This was a Vancouver team that was very good last season and all season long. Not the greatest start for this team, and a lot of sort of white noise around this team in the last month or so with TJ Miller and Elias Pettersson, and who's going to move. Miller wants to get moved, and these guys don't get along. And we don't hear what goes on in the dressing room, but what they're doing on the ice now is they're playing some very good defense. Only 4 goals allowed across the last 3 games, and wins. And getting wins, it's infectious. You start to win games. You start to believe in yourselves again. They're only a point, I
Yep.
believe, out of a playoff spot right now, despite the fact that the season that they've had. They're a win today. To win today in Dallas, and they leapfrog the Calgary Flames and into that eighth spot. When you look at from a totals perspective, and that's what I want to do with a couple of these games today, I want to look at a totals perspective. You look at the Dallas Stars at home; they have the league's best under record at home this season, 16-7-3 at home. That's been a very profitable angle, taking Dallas unders, and they've been a very good team with that. But you look at the Canucks, and I mentioned a team that is starting to win games and play some very good defense as well too. You want to take the live dog, but I think the better bet here is taking the under. I think they go in, they play another low-scoring game, similar to what their last game was like, and this is one of those 2-1, 3-1 type of games. So that's where I'm leaning here. I'm leaning the under here. I think that's the right play, and we've seen games this past week The sixes are turning into 5.5s. The 6.5s are turning into sixes. Teams are starting to play better defense. These games are becoming much more meaningful, and the points are much more meaningful. So we're seeing some deep being played and some low-scoring games across the NHL this week.
Yeah, and Carm, I mean, you think it might be reflected in the standings in the sense that, I mean, you take away 6, 7 teams, every single team is in the hunt for a playoff position. The race in the East is insane. Columbus holding the last spot with 57 points. And I mean, you go all the way down to Pittsburgh. Now, I don't think Pittsburgh's going anywhere, but they're only 7 back. It's an amazing race, and I think it's being reflected in tight checking, good goaltending, nice defensive hockey. Let's turn our attention to the next game. And, Carm, I ended up passing for my clients tonight in the NHL, but the game that I was looking at was Colorado. And last night they were minus 200. There's obviously money coming in on St. Louis. Colorado is now down to minus 185. And, I'll take you through sort of my handicap real quick. I want to play these good teams off of a loss. They just lost 5-2 against the New York Islanders. But more importantly, they've lost 4 of their last 5 games. So Colorado has clearly hit the skids and is in that sort of moment in time where they're not playing their best hockey. The key is to get ahead of when that is going to change. And I think it's about to change. It might not be tonight against St. Louis, but if Colorado doesn't win tonight against St. Louis, they're a definite must bet on in their next game. The only thing that got me off of this game, Carm, is St. Louis has lost 3 in a row playing horrid hockey. And man, it's like now or never for St. Louis. I mean, their playoff drive has begun. If they continue to lose games, even 2 or 3 more in a row, they're out of it. And they're going to be a seller at the trade deadline. This is as close to a must-win hockey game that St. Louis can have so early in the season. That's what kept me off of this play, but I did lean on Colorado. You?
It's tough, honestly. It's tough the way these teams are playing. Normally, Lawrence, when you see 2 teams struggling, and struggling defensively, but you know that they can score goals, you want to take the over. In a week in which a lot of games have sort of been gravitating to the under, this is one of the games where it's at 6, at 6.5. I would stay away from this game at 6. I do like the over in this one. The Avs have the league's 3rd best over record at home, 16-9-1 on the season, which is very profitable. It wouldn't surprise me if the Blues come out and the Blues get on top of Colorado early. As you mentioned, this is an important game for them as well, too. They're going to need to score some goals to beat this Avs team. The Avs at home, and this is a surprising stat, and I mentioned this one on Puck Time earlier this morning. If you guys didn't watch it, it'll be up along with my 6 and 60 segment, 6 games for Saturday's card, and you can win some Puck Time swag by predicting what my final record will be. But as far as records go, the Avs in the first period at home, they in 21 games, 22 games, 26 games, they've only led 5 times, Prez. 5 leads after 20 minutes. 14 times they've trailed. 7 times they've been tied after 20 minutes. You are down 16.8 units if you are betting Colorado first period money lines on the season at home. Not a good stat for a team that we normally think gets out early and buries teams. And then the fact that I think they're still adjusting to the fact that Rantanen's no longer with the team. I mentioned it earlier. It's similar to a player being injured, where it has a trickle-down effect on all the lines and the power play number 1 unit. They're still adjusting to it. I wouldn't want to lay such a big price on the Avs, regardless of what the result is tonight. I think the over is the better play here. 2 teams struggling, in need of points, and struggling defensively. I think we see some goals.
There we go. Carmine Bianco joining us. One more NHL game to do. Andy Lang after Carm. We got Dave Mason from Bet Online coming on. We've already seen a lot of money coming in on the Super Bowl. We're going to talk to him about that. plus every other sport that's going on. And we're going to end the show with Gianni the Greek. Carmine is rolling right now, especially in soccer, and he just won 2 back-to-back 5% plays. And, guys, we talk a lot about sort of streaky handicappers and, who to buy, etc. I just came off a 22-5 NHL run, and that's about as good as it gets from my perspective. And Carm, you almost felt like, and me and you spoke about it, it's going to go the other way. It's going to go the other way. And while I've lost 3 in a row, Carmine last year was the #1 NHL expert across the entire season and has really struggled in January in the NHL. I'd like to swap with you for a few weeks. Maybe you can take my bets. I can take yours. Because we're both about to, what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, no, exactly. I talk to my clients a lot that have the NHL packages, that have the all access long term packages. They'll DM me on the X, and I invite them to, and if I'm not following you on, and you have a long term package, just drop me a note and I follow you, so you can send me DMs, even on games in which aren't part of my nightly schedule. Some people like to bounce games off of me, but I'm I'm going to have a good NHL run in the second half, and maybe last night's 3-0 NHL night
Yeah.
is something that kickstarts it. I think it's transparency is the most important part of this business as well too. So. Um, I have it with my clients all the time. I talk about it. I talk about it on Puck Time. But with that said, Prez, yeah, CB 100 will get you $100 off a 30-day all access. There's a lot of sports. Obviously, full NHL cards, a lot of soccer. The soccer tournaments are in the knockout stages. The Super Bowl, going back to, I'm going to toot my horn on this one. I normally don't do it, but going back to the 2022 season, 3 straight seasons that if you any player released 4% or higher, I'm up 133 units, I believe, 132 units, which is #1 at WagerTalk. And I will have one up for the Super Bowl as well too. So regardless of whether you've made up your mind on the Super Bowl or not, that is a great statistic the last 3 years
Yep.
in NFL for me at WagerTalk. Let's talk this last game, Prez.
You got it, brother. Columbus playing Utah. Columbus on a back-to-back. They played last night in Vegas, and they won in overtime 2-1. And Carm, something special is happening in Columbus this year. Look, they're not going to go win the Stanley Cup, but man, we expected a terrible season. And especially after they lost their superstar, Johnny G, at a terrible, terrible accident. Yet here they are, man. They beat the Kings. They beat Vegas. They beat the Leafs. That's 3 in their last 4. The only team they lost to in that period was Carolina. They're playing the best hockey I've seen them play since the Bread Man was on their team. And now they face a Utah team who's lost 3 straight. How are you going to bet this game?
Yeah, you mentioned that streak for how Columbus has played of late, and the one loss was to Carolina. That one loss, ironically enough, was the second of a back-to-back. Now, you can take it, you can look at it as one loss, or you can look at it on the season. Columbus, when playing the second game of a back-to-back this year, Prez, are 0-7. That you can't ignore that. You cannot ignore an
Yeah.
0-7 run on a season. They just don't play well in back-to-backs. Elvis was great in net tonight, last night. Ironic that it happened in Vegas. Elvis has left the building. We'll see who's in goal for them tonight. I just can't see him playing back-to-back games. And this Utah team is starting to play a little bit better as well too. They're creating more XG, and I think that's the important thing. When they were losing games and they went through that horrible streak at home where they lost like 12 or 13 games, they just weren't creating chances. And if you're not creating chances, you're not going to get the puck luck. You're not going to score goals. They are creating those chances now. I like them in this spot here. it's you're going to have to pay a premium to take them, but you can take them in regulation, Utah in regulation, and you can probably get minus 120, minus 130 on this team right now. I think that streak continues for Columbus, and they go to 0-8 on the second of a back-to-back.
Carmine Bianco, outstanding segment, brother. I love all your picks. I wish you nothing but the best. Guys, join him for a month. Check him out. His soccer's exceptional. He's NHL. He's built a reputation on. Use the promo code CB100. You get $100 off a 30-day all-access, Carm. Real pleasure, brother. Have a great Super Bowl. We'll see you in a week. Carmine Bianco. So, guys, as we spoke about, I lost my NHL play last night. Yeah, well, that sucked. But what can you do? We had the under in the Ottawa-Washington game. Interestingly enough, Washington had gone under 10 in a row. And Ottawa, 5 in a row. 9 of their last 10. So it wasn't just my streak that hit the crapper last night. It was both Ottawa and Washington's under streak as well. Still feeling good about my NHL. I got a lot of you guys that took advantage of my big run, that 22-5 run, picked up a month of my NHL. Don't you worry, man. We've lost 3 plays in a row. Big whoop. That could happen in one day. We're going to be just fine. Passing today, but I already know what play I'm putting up for tomorrow. So don't you dare lose faith. 3 losses. Nothing big. Nothing. Bank breaking. Andy Lang, how are you, my friend?
Oh, doing great, man. Doing great. Just chugging away. So cashed some plays last night. So life is good, man. Looking forward to the weekend.
Dan, I got to tell you something. Andy's mic, it's incredible. Why doesn't Carm or Gianni or I sound as good as Andy on air? What are we doing?
Because no one's as professional as Andy. That's just what it comes down to, you know?
It's that damn professionalism of him, huh? Damn that Andy. Anyway, Mr. Lang.
His mic's as strong, Prez, as he is handsome. That's the way that it works.
Strong mic, strong picks, strong just across the board, Prez.
Strong
but as you age, Andy, the only important thing that matters, strong stream.
Love it.
Start stop.
I can't wait.
Morse code style.
Can't wait.
A strong stream. Okay. Each team to have a rushing touchdown. Minus 145. I mean, look, we know we're getting one out of Philly. So put that one off the list. Now, the issue becomes the Kansas City rushing touchdown. And for me, I feel like, aren't you better off betting Mahomes to get a touchdown than this bet right here?
Yes and no. What's interesting is I don't think people realize Kareem Hunt has a rushing touchdown in 4 straight games.
That's true.
He's they're either saving Pacheco for this game or he came back and is just not 100% healthy. He just doesn't quite look right, but Kareem Hunt has had success. And you mentioned Philly. I think we fully expect either Jalen Hurts or Saquon Barkley, maybe both, to have a rushing touchdown. But here's what's interesting. In the playoff games, Prez, the Chiefs have rushed for a touchdown in both, and they've allowed a rushing touchdown in both. So there's been multiple scores. Mahomes has rushed in. Kareem Hunt has had success on the goal line. So, Kelsey's really their only big red zone, big body target in there. Xavier Worthy's all about speed. And then other than that, their rushing game when they get inside the 5 is probably their best weapon outside of throwing it to Kelsey. So it's minus 145 in Vegas right now. So I really like this one as long as it stays below that minus 160 mark. I don't think these teams are going to take many chances when they get inside the 10. You got to come away with points in a game where the line is telling you it's going to be close. I don't see a lot of risky plays inside the 5. I think they run it, and I think both of them get a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, this prop makes a lot of sense to me, Andy. I do agree with you here. Xavier Worthy, he could get us a rushing touchdown, right? They are playing him on the run around, blah, 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 blah play, the blah, 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 blah one.
Yeah, they're giving him 1 to 2 touches, but memory serves, I don't think they're very close to the end zone. I think they're kind of farther out. So he would have to break a long one. But still, you got multiple guys getting, rushing chances. So like with his speed, yeah, absolutely. He could absolutely break one at any time. I just think there's a lot of options for rushing touchdowns in this one.
Andy Lang joining us, everyone. Guys, if you like the show, we need you to hit that like button. We need you to hit it badly. It's really, really important to us. So many competitors of ours on YouTube all vying for YouTube's attention. Which video is YouTube going to give you? And the algorithm says, well, who's listening? Who's liking the content? Who's commenting on the content? How long are people staying on the show? And that's another thing. If you guys are bored with the show at any point and you want to not listen, just mute it, but leave it up on your computer so that it runs all the way to the end. There's no reason to hit the X button. Just move on with your day and let it run all the way. And we will play. And then it'll be May. Okay, Andy. NBA. Oh my God, that rhymed too. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I did a little deep dive on this guy, and I think he is set up nicely for a big run to the unders. Let's talk Missy for the Pelicans. 16.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And Prez, as you know, when we're looking for these props, we're really looking to try and find these streaks, try and find these guys that are going to go on a 5-1, 7-2 run. We did it with Julius Randle under his 3-pointers. We got a lot of traction out of that one. Sadly, he pulled a muscle last night, so I think he's going to be out. Let's take a look at what's going on with Missy. He's having a great season, but he seems to be slowing down here a little bit. So from November 20th to January 5th, he played 25 games, and he went over this total in 20 games, so a very high percentage. But since then, he's gone under in 7 out of 10 games, and the biggest factor could be this fatigue coming from the season, but also Zion is back. He has played 12 games with Zion Williamson this season, and he's gone under in 10 of those games. The last 2 games that he's played with Zion, he's only had 5 PRA and 8 PRA. So what we're seeing is now that Zion is back, some of these stats that Missy's been accumulating are going away and going away fast. And he gets a brutal matchup, Boston, against centers, first in points allowed, third against rebounds allowed, and third in assists allowed. So you get Zion that's playing tonight. You get a tough matchup. As long as Zion Williamson is playing, I think we can focus on Missy under his points, rebounds, and assists until the books catch up.
Andy, you got a dart parlay for us? The microphone is yours.
I love the phrase "darlay." We're totally using that from now on. We need to use the word "darlay," just like how you said the players need to be called dartists. You've given 2 great suggestions for darts. So we cashed our free darts play yesterday that we gave out earlier this week. We're going to take a couple overs for today's matches. We're going to take Anderson and Vandenberg over 3.5 sets, and we're going to take Aspinall and Gilding over 3.5 sets. Basically, this bet is each guy just needs to win 1 set, and they're both kind of the same. Anderson's a big favorite, but he's lost 3 matches in a row. I don't see him steamrolling anybody. They're ranked 14th and 18th in the world. And then Aspinall and Gilding, Aspinall beat him 4-0 in the last tournament, so Gilding's got the big revenge spot. And outside of that game, Aspinall has not been beating anybody pretty big. So you parlay those 2 overs together, and you get minus 110. Anderson, Vandenberg over, and Aspinall, Gilding over.
Andy, before I let you go, I get a lot of YouTube ads, and most of them are chair Pilates for people over the age of 70. What?
Okay.
What are they trying to tell me? I am not Googling old people working out on chairs. Like, why am I seeing these ads? What is the message that YouTube is trying to send me here?
It's there for a reason. Like, you have searched something in that category. You have said something because your devices do listen to you. You've done something to trigger that algorithm, because those ads get sent to you for a very, very specific reason. I have multiple YouTube channels, and it is hilarious to see the different things that get sent your way. You've done something to make YouTube think that you are really into old people Pilates. I don't know what it is, but you're probably stuck with it for a while.
That's my kink. I'm coming clean. Old people doing Pilates on a chair. Doesn't get harder than that. Andy Lang,
are they wearing clothes or no? Are they wearing clothes or not?
Oh, yes, they are. Andy Lang, what's your special offer?
We're still doing the 30 days. This is the last day for it, guys. We've turned a profit the last 2 days. That's 10 out of 11 winning days in the last 11 days. And we are now on a 30-unit streak in those 10 days. You're going to get all of our plays, including the 5% UFC play that goes off on Saturday. You're going to get darts plays. Don't forget, the Premier League starts next week, so you're going to get several weeks of darts plays. You're going to get our golf plays. We cashed a golf play yesterday. You're going to get tennis, NBA, NHL, as well as Super Bowl. We keep harping on it. This is the time of year where we do our damage. It's these sports that are off the radar. We can help build your bankroll. You don't have to watch all these sports. We watch them for you. Just put the plays in. Watch your bankroll grow. It's only $6.63 a day. Today is the last day to get it. One 5% play is $35. So you're getting 30 days for $6.63 a day. No reason to not grab that. So go check that out, wt.buzz/AL. Good luck on your plays, guys. Let's have a big weekend.
There we go, Andy Lang. Thanks for joining us. Jim Lloyd writes, hey, Prez, took your advice a few months back. Binge watched Slow Horses. Great recommendation. Yeah, I really had a fun time watching that show. Andy, what are you watching right now?
I'm actually, believe it or not, going through some of the older seasons of Top Chef. They're fantastic. They released a bunch of them on Netflix, and they are just great.
Dude, Chopped was my favorite. I don't know if you remember that show, but I used to call my brother.
I watched every episode. Episode.
I used to call my brother, and the answering machine would answer, and I would be like, a goat's heart, cinnamon, 3 cloves of garlic, and celery. Go.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I love Top Chef because they assassinate some of the contestants on the show. Like one guy made this beurre blanc, and one of the celebrity chefs is like, "Wow, this is great. I haven't had a beurre blanc in over 10 years." Just stared at him, just completely crushed this poor contestant who thought he made something good. I love watching the older seasons of the cooking shows. So, all right, guys, have a good weekend. I'll see everyone later.
Get out of here. Get out of here, brother. Get out of here. It's funny. I've actually been. I told you guys yesterday. I've been writing some stand-up comedy, and I'll talk about it a little later with Gianni. But I'm trying to put something together on Beat Bobby Flay because I think there's a lot of humor there. We'll talk about it in a sec. Dave Mason joining us. Dave, what are you watching these days?
What am I watching now that football's kind of, there's some empty nights here. 3 things. I'm watching that Landman. I'm only a few episodes in. Pretty decent. The wife is annoying as hell, though. She really bugs the hell out of me every scene she's in. Rewatching for about the 50th time, but I haven't watched it in about 10 years, The Wire, which is my favorite of all time. And the old lady's never seen Breaking Bad, so I'm watching that for the second time, and she's watching it for the first time, and she's enjoying it thoroughly. I think we're on about season 3 now. So, yeah, we're busy over here.
So my take real quick. Season 3 of Breaking Bad, the best season of the lot. Breaking Bad, the most overrated show in history of the world. With that said, please keep in mind, Elvis is the most overrated musician in the world. The fact that we're speaking about it already puts those people high up in the echelon of greatness. The fact that you're overrated doesn't mean you're not great. It just means you're overrated. That show was slow, and it was too drawn out. Man. The Wire, I quit in season 3.
What?
I thought it was It was too slow. It was just too damn slow. Too damn slow. However, Landman is a masterpiece. And I asked my wife, is it okay to hope for mother-daughter action while watching Landman. She says it's totally inappropriate. And I was like, but they're not really, they're actors. She still believes it's inappropriate. But I would like to personally shout out Michelle Randolph. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Anyway, you know who she is? That's Ainsley. You're about to enter a beautiful 5-6 episode run of Michelle Randolph. Oh,
All right.
lots.
I'm going to Google right now.
Oh, she is freaking spectacular. Spectacular.
What's her
Not
name?
Benelli.
Michelle Randolph?
Yeah, Ainsley.
I'm not good with
Landman's daughter. Landman's daughter.
Oh, yeah. She's too skinny, though, man. You know, she's pretty. She's pretty.
Okay.
She's
Okay.
overrated. Too skinny. Got to eat something.
Fair enough.
I live in
Fair
Latin
enough.
America, man. I live in Latin America. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. I'm a big Ellie Lauder fan, too, and I also like The Lawyer. That show is three
Lawyer's the
beautiful
best.
women.
Lawyer's the
And
best.
Cana-
That's right.
And Canadian. Okay, let's get into some actionable info, my brother. Let's start with the Super
That
Bowl.
wasn't-
I know we're a week early. What are you seeing, hearing, etc.?
Yeah, we currently got the Chiefs minus 1.5. Total sitting at 49. Open 1.5. Went up to 2 for a minute. Back down and 46.5. Tickets. A lot of early bets. You know, Super Bowl, a lot of early money comes in. Then it kind of gets slow. That first 24 hours is nuts, and it kind of gets slow until next week. So tickets 58% on KC, 80% on over. Cash 51% on KC, 67% on the over. Our limits right now 50,000 on the spread. Nothing that big yet. Biggest bets 22,000 on KC minus 1.5, 20K on Philadelphia plus 2, 21,000 on Philadelphia plus 2, 25 on KC minus 125 outright, and 22 on under 49.5. Sharp, little two-way on the spread. You know, that's a very, very, that's a sharp number to begin with, right? Super Bowl always is. Under 50 and 49.5 got hit. Some sharp props. Not all of our props are up yet. A lot of the crazier stuff opens up next week. Some of the sharp stuff under 1.5 for shortest touchdowns. For under 1.5 yards for shortest touchdown, minus 175. Both teams to score first quarter, no, minus 130. Eagles under 1.5. Fourth down conversions, minus 150. Anthem under 125 seconds. That's now 123. That's a funky one this year because, that's a funky one this year too, because we actually have, for the first time ever, we had two different markets up because this dude's singing it, John Batiste, I guess his name is. I'm not too familiar with him. But I guess he's done anthems in the past where he's hardly sang, all instrumental, or maybe sang a few words or whatever. So we put up two different markets, first word to last word, like a traditional one. And then just in case there is no singing, which I can't imagine on the world's biggest stage, but just in case, we put first instrumental note to last instrumental note. That's an extra 10. That's 135 seconds. So yeah, the anthem can often be a bit of a mess, so we're trying to alleviate. Right. And it takes so much action too. It's a lot of these Super Bowl props, crazy grading, or sometimes you got to grade. It's just all these gray areas and stuff with some of this crazy stuff. But the anthem takes so much action.
We definitely had controversy on an anthem bet recently in the last few Super Bowls. I can't remember what it was. It's not something I bet, but I will tell everybody out there now, if John Baptiste is doing the anthem, do not bet it. Just don't. Period. End of story. Firstly, he's one of the greatest piano players living today. He is an exceptional music prodigy. The problem with him is he lives in his own head. It honestly, it could be a 4-hour anthem or a 3-second anthem. He's the type of guy that could hit one note and walk off the stage. So unless he tells us what he's going to do ahead of time, I mean, he could start the anthem now and it could still be going next Super Bowl. Anyway, I personally like that kind of stuff. Dave, I want to talk to you about the safety. Is that prop bet up for Bet Online yet?
It is. I don't know what the odds are. Usually it opens up like plus
2,000.
800. Yeah, that it gets bet down every year. If you're going to bet the yes, wait, because it's always a huge liability. It always opens where it should, minus 2,000 plus, plus 1,000. And then there's just so much of a big liability on the yes that you're getting horrible value on the yes come the game. I mean, that's always such a humongous liability for the house that just risk management comes into play, and you're actually going to get value on the no. So if you're betting yes, bet it early. If you're betting no, bet it late.
Yeah. So what I wanted to mention was, up until the Denver Peyton Manning Super Bowl game, I don't think there was a safety in the Super Bowl, and it was around minus 2,000. And it was regarded as the freest money in the world. I mean, it's like, it doesn't hit 1 out of 20 times. The safety is a great, no to a safety. If you've got the kahunas, from a mathematical value perspective, is normally the best bet you can make at the Super Bowl. But I do agree, Dave, make it as late as possible, but don't fear the chalk, guys. There's a reason a play is minus 2,000. Dave, anything quick for tonight's hockey and basketball slate?
I haven't looked at hockey out there. You have some basketball, some sharp. Hornets plus 14, Bulls 4 or more. Yale -3, minus 110. Hoyas -3, but then you got Butler on the other side at plus 4.5. St. Louis minus a point, minus 108. Then some two-way Mount St. Mary's +8, minus 110 or more. More points, that is. And Merrimack -7.5. Then Harvard +5 and Akron +3.
There we go. Wow, Dave, I'm so appreciative of you coming on every Friday and doing this. Next Friday, I will not be here. Someone else will be hosting, but man, that's going to be an amazing segment to listen to. Thanks for doing this. What else do you have to promote?
Yeah, come on over to betonline.ag, folks. We'll have more props than anyone. We have the prop software with all the standard stuff, the over under rushing yards. You can parlay all that stuff over too. Everybody likes those same game parlays now. And then within the sports book, we're going to have more entertainment, more crazy props than ever before. Just the game within the game. It's a lot of fun. We got our minds spinning now. So Monday, we're going to start unleashing a lot of the crazier and more entertaining props. So hit the contest page up. We have some Super Bowl contests. So, yeah, get on over to betonline.ag for the Super Bowl.
Boom, mic drop. Dave Mason, everyone. Thanks for doing this. Guys, we got Gianni still to come. Hit that like button. I'm going to race through every NHL game on the board. I'm Lawrence Pressman. Thanks for watching this. Let's go. Okay, we got 4 games on tap tonight. Nashville's going into Buffalo. Man, this Nashville team has to be, from an emotional perspective, just so down on themselves. They came into the year after putting Stamkos on the team, plus a couple of more acquisitions. This is a team that really thought they were going to make a run for the Stanley Cup, and they ended up being one of the worst teams in all of hockey. 18-24-7 on the year. That record is even worse than Buffalo's, which is 19-26-4. This Nashville team finds themselves as a small favorite on the road. WTF. They shouldn't be a small favorite on the road against anybody, including Chicago right now. We're going to take advantage of that. We're going to bet Buffalo plus the 105. And do keep in mind, Buffalo is coming off of maybe their best game of the entire year, a 7-2 victory against Boston. And they also got absolutely reamed out by their coach before that game. Take Buffalo plus 105. Dallas, Vancouver. I would love to bet Vancouver here at plus 140. I can't. The right play to me is the under. It's 5.5. Both of these teams are going to be to the under all year. Guys, you take Dallas and Vancouver blind to the under from now to the end of the year, you're going to cash more tickets than not. Columbus playing Utah. Carmine Bianco was on the show earlier today, WagerTalk Today, and he mentioned that Columbus is 0-7 in back-to-back games this year. That is a meaningful stat, guys. That is for sure. And they're in that exact spot. They just came off a 2-1 victory against Vegas last night. They'll be playing their backup goalie tonight. Utah has lost 3 in a row. Not a very good team, but I would look to take them in regulation tonight. But I would tread carefully on this game. Colorado playing St. Louis, and my favorite play on the board is Colorado in regulation. I didn't release it to my clients because I feel like St. Louis is in an absolute must-win game right now. This St. Louis team, the playoffs are getting away from them. If they lose tonight and maybe 1 or 2 more straight, they're done. So that's what kept me off of Colorado, but they are my favorite bet of the night. That's it for every game on the board. Thanks for watching. Gianni, how are you, my friend?
Never better, Prez, never better. And I got good information for you. Coming off a really nice day. All those plays that I shared yesterday, if the bettors agreed with some of them, they probably had a good night, because looking in the account, we came 7 positions above when all the dust settles. Out of all that work, I only passed along 1 premium play in the entire day, 1 premium in college basketball, which got the money. I set up real tight parameters for 2025. And even though putting in all that work to find 1 bet, that's what I'm going to do. If there happens to be 5, I'll fire 5. But if there's only 1, I'll fire 1. So it turned out well. Hopefully that continues. I got college basketball, I got NBA, I got NHL, and I even have a plus 450 prop that I sent out to subscribers that I'd love to share here as well. Because maybe it helps them, even if the line isn't still available, it helps them with some of their other bets based on this one.
So, well, let's share that big plus now, and then we'll have a chat, and then we'll get into all your other stuff.
All right. To have the most receiving yards in the Super Bowl, I sent out Xavier Worthy at plus 450, Xavier Worthy at plus 450 for a 2% play. I was going to fire 3% play, to be honest with you, because the source was so sharp, but I got to manage risk correctly. So I know I'm going to have more props at a plus 450. 2% was more than enough. I let my guys know, as long as you're getting plus 400 or better, where 20% we break even, I think it's plus EV.
Dude, that play makes so much bloody sense for 2 reasons. More than 2, but 1 reason, he's the go-to wide receiver right now on Kansas City. Kansas City is struggling to run the ball, so they're going to throw it a lot. And he is their speed demon. 1 catch could be 50 yards right off the bat. The second reason, the inverse of that, is Philadelphia runs the ball all day long. And I think X's competition here is A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown has gone games without catching the ball more than twice. And if Philly gets up, there's just no way A.J. Brown is going to be utilized much. That bet at plus money makes so much sense. There's only one player that concerns me. And if he is plus money, I would suggest making both these bets. And that is Dallas Goedert to receive the most receiving yards.
I have over 4.5 receptions for him. Yep. I have over 49.5 yards for him. So I already bet him. There's no premiums for subscribers. I sent them out already. Yep. So definitely on the Goedert side, as far as 2 props go, and got that long shot or Worthy. I think I'm going to sprinkle something that Goedert ends up with the most yardage. I'll see if, as long as it's plus money, like you said, I'll make money on a split.
So I told you on Wednesday I was going to give out my favorite prop bet of the Super Bowl, and this is
I just yanked it out of you.
That's it. This is a prop bet. That it is a client bet. I am 13-2 in the last 2 Super Bowls for props. 13-2. Dallas Goedert over 49.5 yards, 85 yards last game. 7 receptions. 56 yards the game before that against the Rams, 4 receptions. 47 before that, didn't make it, but man, it was close. 55 before that. Dude's had a 10 reception, 170 yard game already this year. And you have to look at these prop bets from a logical perspective. Kansas City's coming into this game, and they're going to say one thing only. And we saw this against Buffalo. You stop that damn run, whatever happens after that happens. If we lose in the air, we lose in the air. But Barkley is not, and I love Barkley under 114. Bet the number way too high, a rushing yard in a single game. Under 114, Barkley. All Kansas City is going to do is focus on stopping the run. Now, people will say, well, that helps with Devontae Smith and AJ out on the sides. Jalen Hurts is looking...
Make him beat you with his arm. Make him beat you with his arm. Yep.
And Jalen Hurts is looking at the slot, dude. You can only throw so many long bombs. Dallas Goedert is his safety blanket. We've seen it all year. I love every over on Dallas Goedert all the way through. Okay. I want to talk to you quickly about the safety because I know you love value. The safety has happened once in 58 times. Once. I'm positive it was the Denver-Seattle game. I'm positive. But I could be wrong, but I'm 99 that was the game. It's not minus 5,800, bro. It's minus like 2,000. You are a value guy, Gianni. Explain to me how betting no on the safety is not the best single bet in all of sports.
Because most recreational bettors will see a minus 2,000 and be like, how could I bet that? Like, there's no money to be made there. The break even on minus 2,000 is 95%. And what you just shared, that it's only been one Super Bowl in the last how many, 50 plus, shows you that mathematically you'd have turned a profit betting that even at minus 2,000. Right. But here's the kicker. Most recreational bettors are going to look to the flip side of that and look to take the plus money. That line's going to drop, if anything. Like, they love those long shot prop bets where they could get plus 1,500, plus 1,400. We used to bet when I was a runner at the Stardust. It was an automatic every Super Bowl, no overtime, no overtime, no overtime. I mean, I'm talking 7, 8 straight years where we placed that bet, max it out, max it out, max it out. They won every single time. Now, I know over the last decade, there's been some overtimes, but what I'm telling you is up until the last whatever years, that wasn't happening. And they were just fine laying that kind of chalk. If the true odds should be minus 4,000 and you're able to lay minus 2,000, do it all day long. Those are the bets you're looking to place. Again, it doesn't, like, value doesn't mean plus money. Value doesn't mean getting 6-1. Value means getting a better price than the true implied win, like a better implied win probability than it actually is. That's it. Like, end of sentence, period. There is no argument there. If you're a implied probability, true implied probability, you're getting a better price than the actual, then it's a bet to make. And I think the no safety, it's almost an automatic every year for sharp bettors.
Yep. Great point. Great stuff. And yeah, that overtime bet, same. Maybe you guys get lucky. Your sportsbook allows you to parlay the two together and you can bring those odds down. Tom McDonald writes, Devontae Smith has torched KC in the past 3 games, 107, 199. Tom, look, I love that kind of stat. And it's interesting. It's just from me. And this is just me, totally meaningless. Like, they just don't play each other enough for that stat to mean anything to me. I mean, 3 times, if it was 3 times this year with the same personnel, okay, sure. But I mean, I'm guessing one of those times probably didn't even have Jalen Hurts as quarterback. Devontae Smith might not even have, I mean, Alex Smith might have been in. I don't remember the last week.
It's not even that. It's if that's the case, then then KC knows they have to focus on that. Right. Like, this guy's been burning us. They're going to have to put more focus on that, if anything. So you have 2 things working for you. A, he should regress towards the mean. If that's not his average yards per game long term in his career, right, and it happens to just be random with Kansas City 3 times, then he should also regress towards the mean the more they play Kansas City, coupled with this guy's been beating us. That's what should happen then. He should focus more on stopping the guy that's been beating you. Kind of like I've been hearing with the Saquon Barkley. Every sharp that I spoke to said the exact same thing. The dude's a beast. but like everything else, he should regress towards the mean. Like when you have breakout games of 200, 200, 200, right, but your average is about 115, you're not going to continue to go 200, 200, 200. You're going to start regressing towards the mean. Again, I'm just pulling arbitrary numbers out of the sky, but I trust the math. I trust the law of big numbers rather than, going against it, hoping that probability continues to be defied. I think it's better looking at it that way.
And that Saquon under, guys, I love that bet. And I'll tell you, man, Washington came in there saying, hey, if we stop Philly, if we stop Saquon, we have a chance to win this game. They prepared all week to stop Saquon. And on the first play, he ran a 60 on the first play. And guess what? He still stayed under the total. Gianni, the mic is yours. Where's everybody betting tonight?
All right, let's get some hockey out of the way. Again, I haven't been releasing hockey to subscribers. I'm forced to have it part of the account, so I want them to win, but they just haven't been doing all that well. And the first one, you're even opposite, so it makes me even confirm it's not a bet I'm going to place. 21 Nashville at minus 115, 23 Vancouver at plus 150, and 27 St. Louis at plus 180. Again, the hockey has not been hot. NBA game 539, Chicago plus 4. 538 under 234 Denver Philly, 535 under 231 Dallas Detroit, and also 542 San Antonio plus the 3. College buckets where we've been red hot. 872 St. Louis plus the 1, 878 under 149 Iona Marist, 885 over 144.5 Fairfield Quinnipiac, and 893 over 125 Siena Marist. Small board. That's what we're looking at so far. I'll be with Kelly, I believe, tomorrow for Last Take. We have a lot of college basketball up. I also have a free steam room tomorrow. I did it on Saturday on purpose because of the UFC and MMA. Unfortunately, it starts at 6 a.m., not 9 a.m. like I was hoping. But we should still have enough to talk about. And more importantly, all of the college basketball. Talk some more Super Bowl props. Some more Super Bowl questions, sides, totals, go over all the money management, go over all the results. Excited about tomorrow. The link's up at WagerTalk. The link's up on my social media as well. Live steam room tomorrow, open to everybody.
Gianni the Greek, thanks, my brother. Gianni, have a great week. Guys, this is my last show until the day after the Super Bowl. I really appreciate you guys watching the show. I appreciate everybody in the chat room. Thanks for being part of this. It's going to be a fun week for me. I will be doing all my handicapping. I will have all my NFL stuff up in the next few days. My NHL, college basketball, and NBA will go up every single day. The work never stops no matter where I am. I put the same amount of effort in every single day. I will try log into the chat room a couple of times to say hi. The time zone difference should work out for me. You guys be careful during the Super Bowl. It is only one game. Let's make our money on all the other sports. Football's behind us now. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the week. We'll see you next Monday. Lots of love, everybody.